Hi, good morning, sixth grade social studies. Today we're going to be talking about people in the Roman government. So three groups of people that you need to know about before we begin. One is the Etruscans. The Etruscans were a group of people who were in power in Italy. And the next group of people you need to know about is the patricians. The patricians was another group of people living in Italy, and they were wealthy landowners. The last group that you need to know about were the plebeians. The plebeians were 95% of the population in Italy. However, they did not have much power, their jobs weren't as good, and they weren't allowed to be in the government. So we're going to jump into this reading with pausing to answer questions. Over time, the patricians began to be upset with the Etruscan rule and the Etruscan king. The patricians demanded more power. In 509 BCE, the patricians led a rebellion against the Etruscan king and threw him out of power. The patricians formed a new government called a republic. A republic means the affairs of the people, and it is another name for a representative democracy. The patricians did not want one person to control the government, so they divided it up. Instead of a king, there would be 300 men, called the Senate, that would be elected to run the country. Senators served for life. The Senate would select two consuls or leaders that would command the army and run the day-to-day affairs of Rome. Go ahead and pause the video to answer questions 1 and 2. All right, welcome back. Now Roman society was more democratic than it was under the Etruscan king, but it was controlled by completely by patricians. Only patricians were allowed to become consuls and senators. Also, since the laws were not written down anywhere, patricians often changed them to serve their own interests. Plebeians were not happy with this and demanded equal rights. This was called the conflict of the orders. The struggle took a dramatic turn in 494 BCE. By then, Rome was a city of between 25,000 and 40,000 people. Most of the population was made up of plebeians. Angry over the lack of power, the plebeians marched out of the city and camped on a nearby hill. They refused to come back until the patricians met their demands. Rome was in a crisis. The patricians had little choice but to compromise. Go ahead and pause the video to answer questions 3 and 4. The plebeians' revolt led to a major change in Roman government. The patricians agreed to let the plebeians elect officials called the tribunes of plebes. The tribunes spoke for the plebeians to the Senate and the consuls. Later, they gained the power to veto or overrule actions by the Senate and government officials that they thought were unfair. Over the next 200 years, the plebeians finally gained political equality. First, they demanded all laws be written down. That way, patricians couldn't change them whenever they wanted. Next, a new law said that one of the two Roman consuls had to be a plebeian. Finally, more and more plebeians served along the patricians. After 200 years of struggle, the plebeians have won their fight for equality. Go ahead and answer the remaining questions on your page.